Archaeological hoaxes in biblical lands represent misleading artifacts or discoveries that were either fabricated or misrepresented to appear as significant historical finds related to biblical events or figures. These hoaxes are often created to gain attention, prestige, or financial gain, and can significantly impact both the field of archaeology and the understanding of biblical history. Understanding these hoaxes is crucial because they threaten the integrity of archaeological research and can shape public and scholarly views based on falsehoods, leading to misinterpretations of history and cultural heritage. One notable example is the Piltdown Man. Although not directly linked to biblical lands, it serves as a cautionary tale about scientific hoaxes. A more relevant example is the James Ossuary, purportedly an ancient bone box bearing the inscription, "James, son of Joseph, brother of Jesus." Initially heralded as evidence of Jesus' family, it was later determined to be a modern forgery, casting doubt on the authenticity of similar artifacts and underscoring the need for rigorous verification processes in archaeology. Another example is the Shroud of Turin, believed by some to be the burial cloth of Jesus. Despite extensive scientific scrutiny revealing inconsistencies with its purported age and origin, it remains a subject of fascination and controversy, illustrating how hoaxes can persist in popular imagination despite evidence to the contrary. Supporters of open inquiry in archaeology argue that such hoaxes, despite their deception, can lead to advances in dating technologies and authentication methods, ultimately strengthening the field. However, these hoaxes also present challenges, such as the potential misallocation of academic resources and the erosion of public trust in legitimate archaeological findings. Critics argue that the sensationalism surrounding these hoaxes can overshadow genuine discoveries, posing a threat to historical accuracy and understanding. Controversies often arise regarding the motivations behind the creation and perpetuation of these hoaxes, ranging from the desire for fame and fortune to the propagation of ideological or religious narratives. These deceptive practices can lead to heated debates within academic and religious communities about the interpretation of historical and religious texts. Ultimately, the study of archaeological hoaxes in biblical lands connects to broader themes of ethics, verification, and interpretation in archaeology. It highlights the ongoing need for skepticism and critical evaluation of purported discoveries, emphasizing the importance of maintaining rigorous standards to protect the integrity of historical research and the accurate recounting of human history. Understanding these hoaxes not only informs current archaeological practices, but also cultivates a more nuanced appreciation of the intricate relationship between faith, history, and science. In exploring the intriguing topic of the great archaeological hoaxes in biblical lands demystified, the heading Historical Context and Significance plays a crucial role. This concept involves understanding the backdrop against which these hoaxes emerged, shedding light on why they captivated public and scholarly attention. The historical context refers to the socio-political and cultural milieu in which these hoaxes were propagated. During the 19th and early 20th centuries, the biblical lands, particularly the Middle East, were a focal point of Western archaeological expeditions. This period was marked by a surge of interest in finding tangible evidence that could substantiate biblical narratives, largely driven by the colonial enterprises of European powers and the burgeoning interest in the historical veracity of religious texts. The significance of understanding this context is paramount. It explains the motivations behind the creation and acceptance of archaeological hoaxes such as the infamous Piltdown Man or the Shapira Scroll. These fabrications were not merely academic curiosities, they were reflections of contemporary desires and biases, demonstrating how deeply intertwined archaeology was with religious and national identities. By demystifying these hoaxes, we gain insights into the historical and cultural pressures that both fueled and were a reflection of these deceptive acts. A notable example is the Moabite stone fraud, a supposed ancient artifact that falsely claimed to corroborate biblical accounts. Another instance is the James Ossuary, a purported burial box linked to Jesus' brother, which generated enormous controversy and debate over its authenticity. These examples illustrate the lengths to which some individuals would go to prove biblical histories, often resulting in prolonged academic debates and media sensationalism. Opinions supporting the importance of this context highlight the necessity for vigilance and skepticism in archaeological studies. Recognizing historical biases enables modern scholars to critically evaluate claims and avoid repeating past mistakes. However, Challenges arise in distinguishing genuine historical artifacts from sophisticated forgeries, especially when new technologies come into play. Some argue these hoaxes undermine the credibility of archaeology as a discipline, while others see them as cautionary tales that have strengthened methodological rigor. This understanding of historical context and significance connects to other aspects of the main topic by emphasizing the need for a critical approach to archaeological claims in biblical lands. It influences how current and future excavations are conducted, ensuring that archaeological findings are interpreted within a well-researched historical framework that considers past errors while striving for accuracy and honesty in uncovering the past. The concept of famous archaeological hoaxes case studies refers to an exploration of well-documented instances where archaeological findings, particularly those related to biblical lands, were later revealed to be fabricated or misinterpreted. These hoaxes can involve artifacts, inscriptions, or other evidence that were initially believed to support or illuminate biblical narratives but ultimately proved to be false. This examination is crucial to understanding the broader theme of the great archaeological hoaxes in biblical lands demystified, because it highlights the pitfalls and challenges in the field of archaeology, especially in regions steeped in religious and historical significance. By analyzing these case studies, we uncover the impact of human bias, ambition, and desire for fame or validation on the interpretation of historical data. Two notable examples illustrate this point vividly. First is the case of the James Ossuary, a limestone box purportedly used to house the bones of James, the brother of Jesus. In 2002, it garnered worldwide attention due to its Aramaic inscription, suggesting it was a significant biblical artifact. However, subsequent investigations by the Israel Antiquities Authority concluded that the inscription was a modern forgery, stirring heated debates over authentication processes in archaeology. Another example is the Shapira Scrolls, which were claimed to be ancient biblical texts discovered by Moses Wilhelm Shapira in the late 19th century. These scrolls were initially hailed as groundbreaking, but they were later debunked as forgeries, resulting in a scandal that tarnished reputations and highlighted the susceptibility of scholars to deception. Supporters of examining these hoaxes argue that they serve as cautionary tales, emphasizing the necessity of rigorous scientific methods and peer review in archaeology. Nevertheless, such hoaxes also spark controversies and alternative viewpoints. Some suggest that labeling certain finds as hoaxes might reflect prevailing scholarly biases or geopolitical influences, thus demanding a nuanced consideration of each case. Understanding famous hoaxes in biblical archaeology informs other aspects of the main topic by showcasing the delicate balance between faith, historical evidence, and scientific inquiry. These case studies exemplify the constant tension between discovery and skepticism in archaeology. They also influence contemporary practices, encouraging more stringent authentication techniques and fostering a greater appreciation for the complexities involved in unearthing the truth about biblical history. As we demystify these hoaxes, we gain a more sophisticated grasp of our past and the narratives we construct around it. Unraveling the motives behind archaeological hoaxes in biblical lands involves exploring the intentions and incentives that drive individuals to fabricate or exaggerate discoveries. At its core, this concept seeks to understand the psychological, cultural, and sometimes economic factors that compel people to commit such deceptions. This is crucial because it sheds light on the broader narrative of historical interpretation and authenticity, helping to discern fact from fiction in the stories that shape our understanding of biblical history. The significance of exploring these motives lies in the impact that hoaxes can have on both scholarly research and public perception. Hoaxes can mislead researchers, skew historical narratives, and even affect religious beliefs. By examining the motivations behind these deceitful acts, we gain clarity and can better protect the integrity of archaeological research. Several notable examples illustrate the motives behind archaeological hoaxes. One is the notorious case of the Shapira Scrolls in the 19th century, where Moses Shapira attempted to sell what he claimed were ancient biblical manuscripts. It's believed his motive was primarily financial gain, driven by the lucrative market for biblical antiquities. Another example is the James Ossuary, a limestone box purportedly inscribed with the words, "James, son of Joseph, brother of Jesus." The motive here might have been the desire for fame and the creation of sensational headlines, though it remains a contentious topic with ongoing debates about its authenticity. Opinions supporting the examination of motives argue that understanding these underlying reasons helps prevent future hoaxes by creating awareness and implementing stricter verification processes. However, challenges arise in distinguishing legitimate finds from forgeries, especially when vested interests, from personal ambitions to national pride, cloud judgment. Critics may argue that focusing too much on motives could detract from the need for better scientific methods in archaeology. Unraveling motives is intricately connected to other aspects of archaeological work, such as technological advancements and ethical guidelines. As we decipher why hoaxes occur, we also enhance our methods for authenticating discoveries and establish ethical standards to which archaeologists must adhere. By addressing motivations, we foster a more robust, transparent archaeological practice that respects and accurately represents historical truths. This understanding not only guards against deception, but also enriches the authenticity of our cultural heritage and biblical history, ensuring that future generations inherit a legacy grounded in truth.